You've all been wondering if I have the Black Plague or not. Well, I have the results in from my test. I was tested this week after going to see a doctor at an emergency clinic to kind of see why I was having a lot of the symptoms I was having. So I wanted to come on camera today. I have not been on camera for over a week now because I've been so sick. And so this is the first time coming back on camera. Come on in, guys. I'm going to tell you all about whether or not I have the Black Plague, the big bad wolf that's out there. I do have my test results are in. I will share those here in just a minute. But I wanted to come on here first to basically kind of give you a timeline of what has happened. Today is the first day I really feel like I've gotten my voice back. You could probably still hear the nasaliness in my voice, but I couldn't even talk all week long. I had to cancel 10 podcast interviews this week, and that sucked because my schedule is so tight with interviews that I missed 10 interviews. And so I've got to make those up plus the normal ones that I have scheduled. So anywho, last Saturday, I woke up in the morning and I just felt crummy. I had a sore throat. I just didn't feel well at all. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm coming down with a little something like a summer cold or something. And so I did not feel well. And I thought, okay, I'll just take it easy. And so then I started having coughing start to happen. And I was starting to feel my nasal passages clog up. Holly, thank you for buying a badge. If you'd like to support me, go ahead and hit the badge down below. But I'm giving an update on what's happening with me with the sickness over the past week. Plus, I wanted to go on camera. I haven't done this in a week. Can I sustain energy during a live show? So we're kind of testing that here today. So thank you for being my guinea pigs. But I, sore throat, started to feel the nasal passages clogging up. I thought, okay, I've got like a little bit of a summer cold. And so I went and got some over-the-counter cough medicine and just started doing all the things. Sunday, I woke up and I was burning up. I was just hot. And I'm hot as it is, but just kidding. I was having a fever. And so I took out the temperature thing and I basically tested the temp and it said 99.3. Okay, that's kind of a low-grade fever. That's not a big deal. Thank you, Snoochie, for buying a badge as well. And if you'd like to get one, you guys, again, down below, click on the badge. Helps me out. So I was like, all right, I need to monitor this. This is 2 days in at this point. By Monday, the fever had gotten up to 100.3. That's when I started getting a little concerned. And so I started having deep chest congestion at that point, which I still have the, you can still hear it down in there. And so I was like, all right, should I be worried that this is you know what? And I thought, okay, I'm going to try to write it out some more. I got some NyQuil. I got some other things to try to help with this. Thank you, Kehoe Life, for buying a badge. And so I just kept trying to do it on my own. And by Wednesday, I was not getting better. My temperature was still high, over 100 degrees. I was coughing a lot. I was having the deep congestion. Oh, and the other thing, my ears have been clogged since, when did that happen? Monday or Tuesday. They just started to, just clog up. I can hear-ish out of them, but it's definitely muffled. And I've done the whole blow your nose out and you can hear it, kind of loosen, but it's still clogged up pretty good. And so I decided to bite the bullet. I talked to several friends and I was like, should I go to the doctor? And one of them works in the medical profession. She's like, go to the doctor. So I went to see one of these emergency clinic doctors around the corner from me. I go there pretty much anytime I have issues. I don't really go see a doctor anymore. And I went in and of course they asked me the whole rigmarole. Have you been around anyone exposed to 9-1 DIVOC? No. Have you been out of the state recently? I was like, well, what does recently mean? Define that for me. Because I went to Jacksonville, Florida about a month ago. And I said, well, Jacksonville a month ago. And they wrote that down. And they're like, are you experiencing any symptoms like? And they had a whole list of all these symptoms. And they're like, yes, yes, no, no, yes, no. Do you still have your senses? So I can still taste and smell. And so that was kind of my clue that maybe this wasn't 9-1 DIVOC, but I didn't know. So I go to, and the doctor sees me and he's like, you've got all the signs of bronchitis. And it feels like any other bout of bronchitis I've had. I've probably had bronchitis 2 other times in my life, so I kind of know what it feels like. You got the fever, you got the congestion in the throat. The ear thing is different. I've never had that before. And I got the snot rag blowing my nose all the time, and so that was all familiar. But he's like, we need to test you for 9-1 DIVOC. And my first inclination was, do I have to? He's like, no, you don't have to, but it's highly advisable because this Delta variant's out there and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, I will. So you guys saw I posted on a reel where they stuck that thing way up into my top of my head through my nose. And so they did that test. The test was kind of weird, tingly, but not painful. And I thought for sure, okay, I must have this thing. Holly says, have you felt like eating? Yeah, I've eaten just fine. And in fact, I've eaten a little bit for comfort just because I haven't felt well. And so it is what it is. But he was like, you'll get the test results back within 72 hours. So that was 3 days ago. And I just knew I had 9-1 DIVOC without a doubt. No doubt in my mind, because other than not losing the senses, I had every other symptom of it. And so I stopped by the clinic this morning. I said, hey, do you have the results? They said, yeah, they just came in. So I have the results. And as you can see, not detected. I do not have this stupid black plague. I actually have something that's revolutionary in the year 2021. I actually have something besides 9-1 DIVOC. It's called bronchitis. And so it's amazing, though, when I posted about getting that test and when I posted not feeling well and all these people that said, oh, you need to be on some protocol with ivermectin and you need to do this. And this is the problem with kind of the online world. The online world pretends like they're all medical professionals, and I never pretend to be one online. I just share information, and then you do with that as you please. But not detected at all, which means, okay, I still will get 9-1 DIVOC someday, but not today. Today it was just bronchitis. And so it just goes to show you guys that you can assume things, you can assume symptomatically, well, you must have this big bad virus that's out there. Not necessarily. There are other things that are out there. And I'm glad to see, because honestly, the skeptic in me was like, okay, they're going to cycle that PCR test to the point that they're going to show that it shows. But it wasn't even detected at all. There was no detection whatsoever of any form of 9-1 DIVOC. So Holly says, get some more rest. Yes, I am resting. Oh, so let me tell you what the doctor did do when I went to see him on Wednesday. They went ahead and treated it as if it was bronchitis, which is what it is. So he gave me the codeine cough syrup. So I've been taking that stuff. And the coughing, I have bouts with coughing. I'll have, good time. Like right now, I'm not coughing at all. And then other times I have coughing fits. And then they gave me an antibiotic for 10 days, which I hated that I had to do that, but I kind of needed that. I know it's going to help knock this thing out. And I am replenishing, by the way, with probiotics in between taking the antibiotic. And I will up that once this 10 days is over. I think I've got 6 more days to take the antibiotic. And then they also put me on 5 days worth of steroids. So I have 1 more day of the prednisone that I will take tomorrow, and then I'm done with the steroids. So if you came in late, I did get tested for 9-1 DIVOC, and not detected is the answer. So do not have 9-1 DIVOC. Dan wants to know, does ivermectin also help with the mechanism of bronchitis inflammation? I don't know. I know it is an anti-inflammatory, and that's part of the way it helps with 9-1 DIVOC, but honestly, I don't know. I can't see that it would hurt. But the whole idea that people were like, well, so you need a nebulizer and suck in hydrogen peroxide and kill Okay, all those things are cool, but like cool your jets. Like it was amazing how many people were playing doctor online, pretending like they knew how to help me, assuming that I had the Black Plague when not detected. No, I don't. I don't have the Black Plague. I have this funny little thing in 2021, not called 9-1 DIVOC. It's called bronchitis. In 2019, nobody would have batted an eye that this was bronchitis. Only in 2021 do we have that crap crazy people worried that it's something bigger than it's not. Holly says, my husband had that 3 weeks ago, gave him prednisone and dicyclone. That's what I have as well. Same protocol plus the codeine cough syrup. Snoochie says, is that what they tell everyone that don't have it? Is that what they tell everyone that don't have it? I don't know. I mean, I actually have bronchitis. I guess it's based on the symptomaticness of what you experience. My right-hand man in my business, Hank, he actually does have 9-1 DIVOC. He's currently under quarantine, and the first thing that he noticed was he lost his sense of smell and taste. I have not once lost sense of smell and taste. I taste everything fine, and other than the snot coming out my nose like a water faucet, I smell everything just fine. So I didn't think that I had it. Dan said, thanks for letting us know. Glad you're doing well. Thank you. Mary says, doxycycline, be glad it is PO by mouth and not IV. It burns in the IV. Oh, interesting. Barb says, nope, my whole family just got over 9-1 DIVOC. None of us can smell still. Plus, we all had no appetite, had to lie in bed with exhaustion. I have been very exhausted. I will give you that. Like yesterday, for example, I went to bed just to take a nap around 3:30 in the afternoon. Next thing I know, it's 7:30. The sun is starting to set, and it's 7:30, and I'm waking up, and I'm kind of wide awake. So I get on up, and I do some things for a few hours. Then I go back to bed at 11:30, and then I sleep from 11:30 until 6:30 this morning. So if you looked at my sleep data on my stories, then you'll see that I had like 8.5 hours of sleep. Like my sleep score was 89. I had 4 hours of restorative sleep. I don't sleep that much, and so I know my body is healing, and I obviously feel a lot better today for the first time. I haven't done any podcasts all week because I just haven't had the energy, but I'm starting to feel a lot better now. Gave him the poops for 9 days after he stopped taking it. Yikes, that's a little TMI. I'm joining in late. Did Jimmy already say if he was positive? Kelly, not detectable. That's the answer. So they tested me on Wednesday, and there was no detection of 9-1 DIVOC at all. So that's the good news. Although I was kind of disappointed because I know eventually we're all going to be exposed to this virus. And so why not get it out the way? Why not go ahead and build those antibodies? Of course, look, I've been doing a lot of things prophylactically for a year and a half now. I've been doing very high dose vitamin D to boost my immune system. I've been, grounding, doing sunshine, doing all these things to try to make sure that even when I do get this, my body will be able to handle it. Now, this bout with bronchitis is kind of maybe a little bit of a warning sign for me that I need to up my game, which you guys know. I announced yesterday that I'm doing this 100-day challenge coming up where I'm going to physically push my body to get better. And so I think that's going to do nothing but boost my ability to enhance my immune system even more. So maybe this was good that it was just bronchitis and I could see how I would respond. But this was a bad case of bronchitis that I'm dealing with. So I will take it as the warning sign that it is. Hopefully I'm well on the way to being on the mend. And by the time I start September 1st, I can go hard, start to lose weight, start to get stronger, start to build the immune system even more so that even when Delta or Lambda or Alpha Kappa, Alpha, whatever hits next, whatever they try to put out there, my body will be able to handle it. Snoochie says, not everyone loses their smell and taste, but I think a lot do. Yeah, I realize it's not across the board, but it is one of the first signs a lot of people notice. And if I lost my smell and my taste, which I'm a hyper taster, and so if I lost that, I would notice it right away, and I would have automatically assumed I had 9-1 DIVOC. Yes, negative. I hope Jimmy's feeling back to 100% soon. Getting there. So glad back on here and doing better already. Yeah, Kelly, I am hoping that I will feel well enough that I can be at the Charlotte event next Saturday. So 1 week from today will be an event in Charlotte, North Carolina, a big meetup. And so I still intend on coming, especially since I don't have 9-1 DIVOC. I will definitely be attending. I'm assuming all this that's still kind of lingering today will be gone in the next few days, but do plan on coming there. Sin SD says, what gave you the fatigue and having to sleep more? I think it's just being run down from the bronchitis. So I don't know. All I know is my body was fighting this thing pretty hard because I had very consistent temperature, not like super high fever, but it was in the 99s all day Sunday into Monday. It got into the low 100s. Like I said, the highest it got was like 100.8. Tuesday and into Wednesday, it was still feverish. And so I think that fever probably was contributing a lot to me being tired. And now me being on the steroids and the antibiotics and taking cough medicine, that's probably done more to keep me sleepy as well. And I'm taking some pretty powerful cough medicine. And it says on the side, may make you dizzy or drowsy. So that's probably contributing to the longer sleep. With these medications, I'm not allowed to be out in the sun because I was going to go out there in the sun and maybe like get a little bit of the vitamin D that way, but you're not allowed to expose your skin to sun when you're taking these meds. Plus, my grass is so bad in need of mowing because it needed mowing a week ago when I first got sick and I didn't get out there and mow because I wasn't feeling good. And now it's a week later and it was needing it a week ago. So I may have to hire a kid in my neighborhood to mow my grass. Barb says, now that it's over, I'm so glad we all ended up actually having it. Yeah. Yes, bronchitis. That's what it is. Mary says, darn tootin'. Act like you're a Southerner. Barb says, frontline docs are so overwhelmed that you will not get any ivermectin or any other drug until you are already over it. It's frustrating. Interesting. Fever makes you want to sleep, says Snoochie. Well, if that's true, then that explains why I've been sleeping quite a bit. Mary says fever is good as long as it's not over 101. The infection starts winning at 101. Yeah, I've been watching that pretty closely, Mary. And it never got above 101. It got close, got 100.8. And I can always feel when I'm even having a mild fever because my eyes start to burn. Even at that 99.3, I could feel my eyes burning like they were on fire. So I knew at that point I needed to test my temperature. And then I kept an eye on it. And like, seriously, guys, I was trying to ride this thing out, doing all the things that I knew how to do at home. And I did for 5 days. But when the fever didn't break after 5 days, I didn't feel like I had a choice but to go see the doctor. Gabby says you have a strong immune system, keto, and the sunlight. Yes, I was a little disappointed that I couldn't beat this at home. But like, look, we have to be rational about this. Sometimes you got to go see mainstream medicine. And it is what it is. So I'm on the mend now. But if you came in late, yes, I got the results back. 9-1 DIVOC, not detected. And yes, they stuck that big old brush thing way up into my nose, into my brain. I don't know how far up it went, but it went up far. Let's just put it this way. When they went up, it kind of tickled going into the nose, but then it went up a little more, and I could feel it felt like electricity was like going all through my nose when they were doing it. And then they pulled it out and stuck it in the other one and kind of twirled it a little bit. I'm going, if this thing is so highly contagious, why can't they do just a saliva test? What do you need all this like tickle your brain thing for? And then why both nostrils? Like, is it hiding in one nostril and maybe not the other? Like, I didn't question. I just did the damn test. It was the first one I did, the PCR test. I had not done one before now. All of my medical professional friends are like, yeah, dude, we've been doing those forever. So Anyway, that is the update. As you can hear, my voice is not all the way back. I'm still a little bit congested. I've got the congestion in the chest. My ears are still a bit clogged. So if I start interviewing people this week and I have to ask them to repeat what they said, I can't hear you. Now you know why. No, hopefully that clears up pretty soon as well. Still blowing my nose. And every time I blow my nose, my ears go, they do that little expanding thing. But I'm feeling much better. Thank you to everyone who was worried about me this week, checking on me. I'm doing good. Just going to ride the rest of this out. And hopefully by Monday, I can get back to my normal recording schedule. I did have to cancel 10 interviews this past week. I've never had to cancel a whole week's worth of interviews. And of course, I had a packed week of interviews. So we'll get those back on the docket soon. But thank you guys for being here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back again real soon. Bye, guys.